Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Norwich Talk 4. A video I was expecting to make, to be honest with you. I've been expecting to make this for the last week or so, to be honest with you. A video I don't really want to make, but at the same time, the man that this video is about is of such quality that I feel it necessary, not that he'll watch it, but I feel it necessary to pay a tribute and to say thank you to Emi Buendia. He's going to be joining Aston Villa, courtesy of pick whatever journalist you want. It's well reported now, well known that he'll be signing for Aston Villa. I think the first tweet I saw was, I think it's Paddy Davitt, and I believe it's 35 million plus add-ons, maybe. I don't know, something like that. My reaction is, and I compare it to the James Maddison reaction. I think Buendia is a better player, but I compare it to the Maddison reaction in that you sort of knew it was coming. When it actually happens, it's a bit like, ooh, this hurts a bit more than what I thought it would. It's quite a deep one, to be honest with you, with Emi Buendia. Although I think I'll start off on a more positive note before we perhaps get towards the tears. Not literally tears, I promise. But I remember after Norwich played Burnley in the Premier League last season, 1920 season, I remember being like, Jesus, this is terrible. This is an awful way for his time at Norwich City to end, because even by that point, I was convinced that he was the best sort of technical player I'd seen play for Norwich City. And that was an opinion that was shared across the Norwich City fan base, wasn't it? And I remember thinking that red card down to 9 men losing, I think it was 1 or 2-0 at home, to sort of just rub relegation in our faces. Really, I thought that is a terrible way for his Norwich City career to end. But no, Norwich City, Stuart Webber, Daniel Farke kept a hold of him. He, and I won't say single-handedly, but he played a massive part in getting us back into the Premier League. That cannot be understated. Now, I know there'll be Aston Villa fans watching this video to maybe get a flavour of what he is like. He is a superstar. I saw Connor Southwell's tweet that said, "Go on, Emi, go be a superstar." And I just nodded and I thought, yeah. I put a very frustrated tweet out the other day about the concept of Norwich's model, really, in that develop a player, make them very good, sell them. I understand that model. I appreciate it. I want to stick with it. I think the European Super League has proven I prefer that model, the model that Norwich City have, but it will not hurt any less than what it does now to see a player like Emi Buendia go, Ben Godfrey, James Maddison, etc., etc. But and I think maybe this is me growing up as a person, as a human, becoming an adult, but I only want to see him succeed. And I have no beef with Aston Villa. I don't care about Aston Villa. I love the stadium. I think the stadium's really nice. I've always rated the fans, thought they're very loyal. But Aston Villa have got such a gem on their hands, and I will be rooting for his success next season. And for him to be successful, that'll mean Aston Villa will have to be too, and that's totally fine by me. Emi Buendia is a very, very special football player. I think to a few people, it won't be that deep, but to people such as me, maybe you watching this video, other Norwich fans, Villa fans, it is that deep, to be honest with you. In my lifetime, Emi Buendia is the best footballer I've seen play for Norwich City, without a shadow of a doubt. And in that era, I've seen players like Wes Hoolahan, James Maddison, I dare say any other names because I can't think of any off the top of my head, chuck Ben Godfrey into there for when he inevitably becomes a starter for England. But it is madness. Buendia is really, really special. You look at this season, I think he directly contributed to over 32 goals, which is ridiculous. This is a Norwich City team who rely on chance creation, which sounds a bit weird and a bit obvious when you say it out loud. But when you strip Buendia away from Norwich City, last season in the Premier League, they aren't that much better than anyone else. They're very average. And I think the stats, and I remember when he got sent off, I think it was the first time this season or the second time, where you looked at Norwich's win rate without him, and I think it was 6% of games they'd won without him. Since then, I think we've won 2 games or so. I think Forest, and there was another game. But this man had such an influence on the way that Daniel Farke could implement his style, and the way that he could really be successful at Norwich City. You look at the 18-19 season, when he sort of fell into the team. I remember, I don't know if it was his league debut, I think it was against Brentford at home. He came on the pitch and it was just like, oh, here we go. This is the start of superstardom for a footballer. And it's just it's more than his technical ability. What I love about him is his tenacity, it's his aggression. Sometimes you'll see the arms flail and you think, just get on with it. But that's a man who cares about the team. It's a man who cares about the game that he plays. And it's just, there's so much to love about Buendia. There was the fiasco, as we so often label it, earlier this season. But beyond that, he got his head down, came back into the team, and he took Norwich City up on the back of his shoulders. Timu Puki, I'm gutted for him, to be honest with you, because I have no idea how he must be feeling. I mean, it'll be disappointment, frustration, happiness for his friend, but I'm very interested to see how he does in the Premier League. But Emi Buendia, and to those Villa fans still watching, I can't stress to you enough how special of a player Emi Buendia is. He's just different gravy. And this season, especially, he's clearly worked on his shooting, his finishing, and that is evident in the 15 or 16 goals that he scored. And I really think he'll be that next player to take Aston Villa to the next level. Last season in the Premier League, they did fairly well, didn't they? I remember there was that controversy, wasn't there, about them staying up in the Premier League because goal line technology wasn't working. That's football. That happens. But, you know, from there, it was up to Dean Smith, etc., to then build on that. And they have, to be fair to them. I know they spent 32 million on Ollie Watkins. Now, I know there was that previous relationship between Dean Smith and Ollie Watkins that sort of got that over the line. But I like to see them spending big money on a championship. Well, technically a Premier League player, but at the time a championship player, because that shows respect for the game. That shows an understanding that quality is everywhere, and it's not just in the Premier League. It's not just in the top divisions. It is everywhere. This Norwich City model has taught us that. But this video, God, it's painful to make because I do worry about how Norwich City will replace Emi Buendia. But, you know, I was worried after James Maddison. Look how that turned out. Next season we went up. I was worried when we sold Ben Godfrey. Not so much Jamal Lewis, but we signed Ben Gibson, went up. And it's just up to Stuart Webber and his team to prove their genius to be correct. You know, I trust them implicitly. We haven't got a choice, but I do trust them genuinely to replace Buendia. And given how swift this deal has been done, I like that, in the sense that it allows the team, even before the Euros, to just get used to the fact he's not going to be here. It allows the recruitment team to, maybe it ramps the pressure up on them there, if I can get my words out properly. But it allows Norwich to settle, and that's important. I think this type of transfer is important to get it done nice and quick. And a quick shout out to Buendia again for the fact that I think he has massively helped Max Aarons for his young career so far. Blimey, I keep sounding like I'm going to cry. I'm not. I'm just getting a bit I don't even know what it is, but I do think he's had a massive impact on Max Aarons' career. And I think without Buendia in front of him in the 2018-2019 season, for most of the Premier League season, he wouldn't have become the player that he is right now. Max Aarons, again, I imagine I'm going to have to make this video for him at some point in the future. But the main question, can Norwich City replace him? Reports, and I say reports, I saw a tweet from Dan Emery, and he usually tweets stuff that's fairly accurate in terms of what he's read. And I read, I think it's Matthias Pereira from West Brom could potentially be a replacement. I don't know. But the sale of Buendia means that Norwich City should hopefully be spending big money. We saw the genius of Webber at work again, didn't we? Where it was announced that we bought out Getafe's sell-on clause, fee clause, whatever, for Buendia, so we could maximise and reinvest as much as we can. This isn't going to be popular with many people. I don't think it's very popular with me. I'm gutted that I'm not going to get to see my favourite Norwich, well, the best Norwich City player I've seen play again, especially in the flesh. It is kind of gutting. You know, there's no two ways about it, is there? But, you know, what can you do? That's football. Football is an everlasting game. It's an everlasting cycle that will go on until the world stops spinning. When that'll happen, who knows? But yeah, Villa fans, you've got a good player on your hands, and I hope you take care of him, and I hope he takes care of you. I know he will, for a fact. I do not look forward to him coming to Carrow Road next season and potentially destroying us, but that said, if anyone knows how to stop Buendia best, it's Norwich City, but we'll deal with that when it comes down to it. If you enjoyed this video, I say if you enjoyed, can you enjoy this video unless you're a Villa fan? Give it a little thumbs up. Perhaps consider subscribing for more Norwich City content in the future. That is kind of the point of Norwich Talk. Hit the bell so you're notified every time a video is posted. So until next time, I'll see you all again very, very soon.